Hey friends, what's going on? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope you're doing well. As always, really do hope that. And welcome back to Chelsea News. Of course, it's the daily show series? Daily series? Yeah, daily series. That's what I usually say here on the channel, where I reflect on what's being said about Chelsea, giving you my thoughts on it. More importantly, as always, asking for yours. And of course, I was going to say it being the transfer window, but it being Chelsea, there's always so much to talk about. I'm going to show you a quick leak of the new training kit from next season, but of course, transfer window is open. Stories about Fikayo Tomori being offered back to Chelsea, to Milan. Chelsea's money they're going to raise in January. L'équipe, la publication française, saying actually Kolo Muani isn't a player Chelsea are interested in, despite, of course, here on the channel, me reacting to reports saying that his representatives have offered him to Chelsea. I suppose both could be true. He knows he's not wanted by PSG, so his representatives could be like, Chelsea, huh? But maybe Chelsea just aren't interested. I'm sure there'll be conflicting responses from people on that. So it's going to be great. As always, thank you for joining me. 2025 is going to be a big year for Football Therapy here. So whether you're an OG GOAT Gang member or you're new, why don't make sure you're subscribed to join the fun and come with me on the journey, you know? You're most welcome. So thanks for liking and subscribing. Let's hop in. Well, let's have a quick look at this training kit, shall we? I think we should. Peach. Apricot, I think they're calling it. So this is for next season. I want to say pink early doors, but not quite. It looks peachy to me, but look, I mean, yeah. I didn't buy this season's training kit. In fact, I've bought no kits this season, but I bought 3 last season. The first, third, and training, which still had Travago along the chest. Here we go. It's Apricot Agate. Oh, of course. Okay, yes, guys. This is the color scheme. It's Apricot Agate, Obsidian, and Guava Ice. Obviously, you silly sausages, mate. How do you not get that? This season's nice, that blue. Très joli. I like the blue. It's fine. Peachy, pink, apricot, whatever you really want to call it, mate. It looks fine to me. But yeah, footy headlines, don't miss. They always get the leaks right. So, that's it. That's what we're having. Alright, right, we're going to talk about Tomori in just a moment. Just quickly on Kolo Muani. So this is coming from L'Equipe. I'm not going to read the translation, but the headline is that Chelsea aren't looking at him. Now, of course, you'll hear so many conflicting reports over transfer windows and just generally news stories in isolation. He is a very expensive player that Paris Saint-Germain bought from Eintracht Frankfurt. Still called up by the France national team, and we spoke about it in relative detail yesterday about how it could work wages-wise, and the previous story was that he and his camp had presented him as a possibility to Chelsea, and L'Equipe are talking about, not that to rubbish that story that we reacted to, but to say that Chelsea are not interested in Kolo Muani, which some people might be pleased about, some people might not be pleased about. Truth is, I think one thing that a lot of people are aligning on at the moment is the possibility, the potentiality. Is potentiality a word? Potentiality. Latent qualities or abilities that may be developed and lead to future success or usefulness. So yes, it is a word. Yeah, man, look. Chelsea fans upset with the, not Jackson. Jackson's good, but, he is what he is. He's still young and a lot of pressure, a lot of expectation. Not that much backup as an actual striker, as much as we'd all like to see Gu. Maybe the sobering, grown-up conversation reality is you can't just rely on Mark Gu in Premier League games at the moment for some reasons. Again, we're not at training. We don't know how clocked in he is to actually there's one thing playing Mark Gu in the Conference League and him running around like a maniac and just bundling into people and scoring, but the sophisticated planning and tactics of each Premier League game, maybe he's not quite there. Maybe he hasn't quite got the experience. I don't know. Although I probably would have liked to have seen him in certain instances over Nkunku, purely because Nkunku doesn't fit a striker, and purely because on top of it, and Nkunku's starting to look a little bit disillusioned, which I kind of understand, but also I'm not overly happy with at the same time. That story will develop over the days, weeks, probably months. We'll see what happens there. But in terms of a striker, the keeper suggesting Kolo Muani is not the one. Though, I do think personally, I got a feeling deep inside that should an opportunity arise for a centre forward this month, whether it's a loan or purchase, that Chelsea will go for it. Let's move on, shall we? Right, before we talk about Tomori being offered to Chelsea, there's been more stories about Disasi. I'm going to cite some stuff from Bobby Vincent on football.london. He reiterates the situation with the two most obvious immediate exits this month, which are both really interesting in their own way. Of course, is Ben Chilwell and Carney Chukwuemeka. Now, we ain't got a whiff yet. I know it's only the 2nd of January, but leading up to transfer windows, sometimes you get an idea of clubs that might look at certain players. Ben Chilwell, like, what? We ain't got a whiff of where this guy is going to turn up. Like, is he going to just pop up in Turkey or something? Which just feel like such a shame, man. How old is he? 28? He feels like he's 28. Ben Chilwell he's 28. He's just 28, bro. Like he's 28 like 11 days ago. So he's literally just turned 28. I should have remembered that because of it would have been social. Yeah, there was social media happy birthdays, weren't there? So belated happy birthday to you, Chili B. But yeah, so really intriguing. I mean, he could be great for a Champions League team. I'm sorry, I'm going to die on that hill. If someone utilizes Ben Chilwell appropriately, he will play very well at a very good club at a very high level. Just simply is the case. That won't change. And of course, Carney Chukwuemeka, a 21-year-old attacking midfielder. Interesting one as well. And Disasi, Bobby Vincent writes, he's a slightly different situation to the aforementioned two. Chelsea are not actively looking to sell a Frenchman who provides cover for multiple positions across the back four, right centre back and right back. And to be honest, I'm not sure he covers either. Look, I don't want to be a knob here. When in form, he can play all right. He's a good guy, he's strong. Apparently, he is a leader. I don't like digging players out, but we can only react to what we've seen of late, and that is an effing car crash. Yeah, but equally, Chelsea would not be adverse to selling the defender should they receive an attractive offer for his signature. Easy for me to say. What's an attractive offer for Disasi? Don't be mean, don't be cruel, Yannick, and you watching, listening. I know you're probably saying, yeah, pack of crisps, mate. But, you know. According to the values from Football Database Transfermarkt. Alright, firstly, excuse my French, this is going to be bollocks. Because Transfermarkt always undercooks transfer values. And I will show you for why in a moment. Says he could generate over 50 million quid by selling these three players. Well, we already know Chelsea want 40 million for Carney should he go. So, yeah. They've all been linked with moves away. So Chukwuemeka on Transfermarkt is valued at £12.4 million. Nonsense. I mean, maybe he is. I get it because he's not played. But it is no chance Chelsea are selling him for that. They want his release clause. And his release clause is £40 million sterling. So they'd make a massive profit on him. A player that hasn't played for Chelsea. Which seems wild to me. Maybe they still feel like they got a great deal on Carney. I don't think it's unfair to assert that Carney could be a £40 million player. I think he's very talented, but you're just mental if you think Chelsea are going to get that now. If they were offered 30 million for Chukwuemeka, I think they'd just rip your hand off, surely. And that's not me trying to flog him and get rid of him. I think he's great, but Axel Disasi is valued at 24.8 million, so 25 million pounds. That's a little bit more on the money. Because we bought him for 35 million, but although he's played a lot, people don't look at Disasi and think, yeah, do you know what I mean? So I feel like, again, 25 million is probably his value. Would Chelsea sell Disasi for 25 million? Probably not. I reckon if someone said 30 million, they'd have a sit-down conversation. And of course, loads of you are screaming at the screen right now, and you're probably going to do it again in the Tomori section about Trevoh Chalobah. Look, guys, we can talk about Chalobah till the ruddy cows come home, mate, but whether it's Maresca not fancying him ready, whether it's just the financial plan to get pure profit for him, it always has been. I do think if Chelsea have an academy player that they think's wicked, they will do everything to keep him. Levi Colwill, he hasn't got the entirety of the Chelsea fan base behind him, Levi Colwill, but the Chelsea sporting directors in the club are completely behind him. They could have made loads of money on Colwill, and they're like, no, he's part of the project because he's good enough, and he suits what we want. So they're completely sticking to their guns. It would be easy for them to go, oh, loads more pure profit for a player. Let's just buy a, whatever kind of player from Europe, and it would be a massive accounting profit to just spend 30 million quid on some other centre-back and sign him on a whatever long deal. So if they do think the academy players are good enough, they will back them. Achian Pong has signed a new deal. Tariq George as well is a first-team player now. So if they think they're good, they'll keep them. But Chalobah seemingly just isn't in their plans. So, yeah, shout all you want. I'm with you, Ben. I'm with you. I'd rather have Chalobah than Disasi. Just simply, I'm with you, okay? So let's just get that out of the way. And Chilwell is valued at 16.5 million. Yeah, that's maybe a little bit more. So let's just round up, say 17 million quid. And I think that's fair. I think, I know he's Champions League winning left wing back in his prime. And, we bought him for 50 million. We bought him for 50 million ages ago. His book value after an extension as well won't be that much. So it'll be fine. We won't be making book loss on him. And, it'll be a case of, if someone gives you £17 million for Chilwell, and more importantly for Chelsea, in Chelsea's perspective, they alleviate themselves of £200,000 away. I always forget about Chilwell because he'll be on massive wages as well. I always talk about active registered players. You talk about Reece James and you talk about Nkunku, but I forget about Chilwell because he'll be on big wages as well. Definitely, if not 200, very close. So that will be Chelsea looking to get that off the books, and if they make a few million quid on the way, they'll be very happy with that. But Chukwuemeka, he ain't going anywhere for less than 30 million. He'll go on loan, I think, personally. Right. So, yes, stories coming out about Fikayo Tomori being offered back to Chelsea. The Tomori story, I'm going to read you a little bit of the Metro. I'm not going to share the screen because it's riddled in ads. Chelsea have been offered a chance to re-sign former defender Fikayo Tomori from AC Milan, according to reports. Tomori joined Chelsea's academy at the age of 8 and progressed through various youth teams over the next decade. The centre-back made his first team debut for Chelsea in 2016, so it wasn't actually the Lampard vibes at time, it was before that. And then after a number of loan spells, he made 22 appearances for the Blues throughout the 1920 campaign. With his first team minutes, drying up, Tomori joined Milan on a loan deal in January 2021. Just before Tuchel came in, or as Tuchel was coming in, and Chelsea won the Champions League. So you got, I know it didn't start, a lot of them, Tammy Abraham didn't start, and other youth players, Chelsea youth players, but there was that great picture of all them around the Champions League trophy or something towards the end, the academy players. But Tomori, I think, just missed the boat. But I tell you what, he did all right, didn't he? Because he went to Serie A, learned Italian fluently pretty darn quickly, and won the first Scudetto for Milan for ages. An amazing situation for him, and playing in the Champions League. The only downside of this part of his career is Gareth Southgate is a complete knobbler and didn't friggin' call him up for England, which is crazy to me. Tomori joined Milan on a permanent transfer worth 24 million quid in the following summer on a 4-year deal, which Chelsea, again, this was the beginning of the pure profit tinglies for Chelsea. 24 million quid for an academy asset is great. Since then, Tomori has played more than 150 games for Milan, but he's currently found himself out of favour with just 6 league starts this season. So this is coming from Sky Sports Germany. They say Tomori is growing frustrated by his lack of minutes and is questioning his future at the club for the first time. It's claimed Tomori's representatives have approached a number of Premier League clubs about a move, and those include former side Chelsea. Ooh, but Chelsea will only consider re-signing the 27-year-old if defenders leave Stamford Bridge, and of course Axel Disasi has been talked about. While Chelsea are not currently pursuing Tomori, Juventus are apparently really, really interested in his signature. Tomori is really good, right? But the thing is, he was excellent for Milan. I don't know the details about why he's not playing for Milan at the moment. Italian news media will know better than I. But the truth is, he's good. It's weird, right? Because he's like our youth academy player that left still relatively young to Milan. You think of him as like one of the young lads, but he's 27. Like, when is he 28? Like, obviously he will be a replacement. So he's 27, right? He's just turned 27. Literally, again, similar. He's like almost exactly a year younger than Chilwell. So Disasi, right? Disasi is a year younger, and he's 26. Disasi feels a lot bigger than Tomori, and in a way feels older, but Tomori is more of the senior player, so it's kind of weird. You've brought in, for me, Disasi represents this big player you've brought in from Europe, as in big as in physical stature, and he's older than all the others, and he's the senior guy. Oh, Tomori, he's one of our kids. He's one of our kids that has gone elsewhere for an adventure. But actually, Tomori's older than him. Jan, you asked me the question, Jan. Who would you rather have as a rotational option as a right centre-back? Disasi or Fikayo Tomori? Tomori every day of the week, ladies and gentlemen. He's a good player. Fikayo Tomori. Would he come to Chelsea to not be a starter? Because for me, I'm still doing that long-term cultivation plan of Fofana and Colwill, Tomori, interestingly, can play right back. He's a bit Disasi-y in the fact how he plays centre-back, right back. He is, right-footed, right centre-back, mainly. So he kind of occupies the same sort of role. If Maresca just wants a centre-back to play that role over conventional right-backs like Gusto, like a Champong, like Reece James, I think, by the way, if Reece James comes back fit, he's just an undeniable starter, personally. Yeah. What do you think, guys? Let me know. Would you take Tomori back at Chelsea? Say you could get him for the same money you sell Disasi for, which is probably the case, actually. Would you do that? Would you think it's unhelpful, actually? Would you think it's just better to sell Disasi and give his minutes to Joshua Chiampong? Lots of Chelsea fans would probably prefer that. Again, loads of you will be calling out for Trevoh Chalobah to be recalled and utilised, but because we own him. But that's, as far as I'm concerned, simply will not happen. But leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. I can't wait to read them. As always, keep it locked to Football Therapy because there'll be daily updates, sometimes twice daily, heck, maybe thrice daily if news stories heat up throughout the transfer window. So I thank you for your support, and I'll see you back here soon, hopefully. Peace.